Hey guys, welcome to SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. I'm Dejan Kovacevic. He's Chris Halleck. We're from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Chargers 25, Steelers 10. Bizarre, uncomfortable, rhythm-free, chaotic event for the most part. But then it all just swung to the other guys.
That was about, to me, there were some pretty ugly losses against the Bengals and the Packers. That was... I don't even have words for that. That was, they didn't convert a third down, I don't think, until fourth quarter. It was just, that was as ugly as it gets. We're talking quarterback was bad, play calling was bad, self-inflicted wounds like holding penalties in the red zone, it was bad.
It was bad, says Chris. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Gosh.
But it was.
It's bad.
It was bad. And it's made all the more maddening by what we saw back home a week ago.
Yeah.
Because we saw at least the defense put it all together against the Colts, get all the takeaways that we know are necessary to victory for them. That's just the way that they're built. And we saw the offense. I don't know that they were great against the Colts. I don't think they took a big step backward against the Colts.
They were opportunistic against the Colts.
Yeah, they finished off what they needed to finish off.
Yeah, but there were enough red flags in that game, and I've been saying this for weeks now, that the offense needs to take the next step, and the next step was sustaining drives. And there might not have been a game in which it was going to be more important to sustain drives than this one. Because the Chargers are best in the league at holding on to the ball, and the Steelers came into the game second worst in the NFL in time of possession. And that...
It played out. Exactly like that.
Seriously.
It just did.
Oh, gosh. I don't even... We can get more specific into the defense and everything, but I don't even want to blame the defense all that much. They kept a lid on Justin Herbert. They kept a lid on what the Chargers were doing. It wasn't really...
No, they did good stuff. Yeah. I asked Cam Hayward afterward He's not good at this, okay? He's not the positive spin type, all right? But I asked Cam, you'll hear it right here.
Are there areas that you've liked as well, that you've seen progress in?
Yeah, I thought we started the game well. I thought we got a lot of pressure on the quarterback. There was just plays to be made on defense that we didn't. You gotta use this as a lesson and learn from your mistakes. On the offensive side of the ball, obviously we had turnovers. Obviously we didn't convert, especially in the red zone. But got to learn from those mistakes. Special teams, same thing. Leave points on the board, that's what happens, or you give up the ball. That is what it is. But I'm all about owning it. And can't shy away from it. Got to grow, be better because of it.
So what was the line on this one again?
2.5 going into the game.
2.5.
2.5.
Yeah. This wasn't 2.5.
No.
No. Regardless, it's time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. If you think the Steelers are going to bounce back next week against the Bengals, go ahead and tell them.
Yeah. So the line, when it first opened, it was before this monstrosity happened. Steelers were 6-point favorites.
Against the Bengals.
Against the Bengals. So I think that's probably going to change.
It's probably going to change, and it's going to change in large part because of, let's be honest here, the quarterback play, because that dictates so much of what happens in the betting world. Whatever your game, the FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials so that you can join in on all of the action. Aaron Rodgers did not have, actually he had, let's just skip past the whatever. This was his worst game as a Steeler. I thought it was his worst game by far.
Yes.
I don't recall him being this inaccurate in any other game. I don't recall him. Oh, what is this thing with him eating sacks?
So it's hard. It's hard because sometimes I feel like it's Aaron, and sometimes I feel like it's the offensive line.
It could be both,
and I do feel like it's both. But a quarterback, when you hit your back foot and your first read's not there, the first thing you really want to try to do almost every single time is to try to step up in the pocket. That's,
human nature.
You keep your eyes downfield, you move up in the pocket, you go through your progressions. So to see Aaron move up, that's not a red flag to me. It's not just stepping up though. It's trying to make something happen with your legs. You're 41 years old. You're not that guy anymore. But at the same time, and Troy Fautanu talked about this after the game whenever I had a chance to speak with him, and he talked about like that offensive line. They're very, very unsatisfied with their performance in this one too. So I think it's Aaron, but I also think like the offensive line, like they've got to do a better job of more consistently giving Aaron more time to be able to actually go through his progressions. So that's not first read crap. I've got to move, because after watching the Jets last season, every drop back he had with the Jets last season, when that guy starts to get hit early and often, that's what happens.
That's what that looks like.
That's what happens.
That looks like. Here's a little bit of what Troy Fautanu had to say afterward.
All areas of the offense couldn't run the ball, forced to drop back and pass. And obviously with their defense trying to keep a lid on everything, we got to be able to hold up as an offensive line, knowing that Aaron's going to hold the ball. But just didn't play our best out there. It was frustrating.
Sorry, what specifically wasn't working for you guys on third down?
I don't know. I have to go back and watch the film, but I just know that 8 was hit too much. So.
What happened on that holding call down there in the red zone?
Yeah, I just got to do a better job of keep my hands inside. The ref had told me that I was hooking the defender. Frustrating, but I got to clean that shit up.
I would say that there's an elephant in the room that we haven't brought up yet, but it's actually a whole herd of elephants. It's a whole herd of elephants that could trample somebody if you ever allowed it to. And I'm talking, of course, about Jaylen Warren. I don't understand. Some of the guys that I spoke with in the locker room just now downstairs didn't understand. Why wouldn't you just lean on the one thing that you had that was really, really working? Los Angeles doesn't have a bad defense. Los Angeles doesn't have a great defense. They're not super strong at anything on that side of the ball. And they don't stop the run all that well. But they weren't even coming close to stopping the run down there. Why? How many times did we say it? Why?
Yeah.
Why? 2nd and 1 inside the red zone, and you come away with no points?
Yeah, well, that's the self-inflicted wound, because, that's Troy Fautanu getting a holding call. It negates it because, Caleb Johnson they run the nice misdirection. He gets the first down. Troy gets called for the holding. You back it up, and now you're forced into a throwing situation. The one that really irks me was the drive in the second half, where they're going down the field. Jaylen gets a nice run. He gets a nice catch after on the screen. They're getting down. They get down inside the 20. First down, 4-yard gain. Okay, you're on schedule. You
Meaning
keep going.
Jaylen. It was Jaylen for 4.
2nd and 6. They try this fake one way. Let's look to DK, and then the edge rusher drops back in coverage, so he can't throw it. So then Aaron just got to eat it. And then you get into a situation in which, okay, now you're forcing yourself into more only throwing situations when Jaylen Warren was your best player.
He was your guy.
Yeah.
He was your guy. Arthur Smith.
What's it going to take to
He was your
teach this
guy.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're afraid of. I don't know if it's that Mike Tomlin decreed, years ago that Jaylen could only ever be a 1B or a backup or something. But our eyes aren't lying to us.
Yeah.
The other team sees this. The other team started making adjustments to stop the Steelers' run, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter. So somewhere, Chris, between Arthur and, of course, the quarterbacks involved in this, and Rodgers, you have a situation where they seemed to be obsessed with this idea of let's get the ball to DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
You didn't need to score 4 touchdowns at once in the early part of this second half. You just needed to move the ball. You just needed to move the ball the whole game for the stuff that Chris mentioned about time of possession, for keeping your defense off the field instead of draining them the way you did and then ultimately embarrassing them at the end.
Yeah.
All of that happens through running the football. All of it happens through handing the ball to Jaylen Warren.
Yeah.
And
okay, so for me, and again, like
these are smart people, Chris.
Yeah, I know. I go back to, again, I had to suffer through watching every drop back of that 2024 Jets team, and the one really big problem that team had was they asked Aaron to be their savior.
Yeah, and you can't do it.
No.
We're not there anymore in the football world.
He is not the Aaron Rodgers that won an MVP in 2020 or 2021. He can still do MVP type things every now and then. The one throw he had to DK Metcalf over the middle, or no, to Darnell Washington over the middle.
Oh, the bullet.
That was one of his best throws of the season. Like he can still make some great throws and make some great plays. But it's got to complement something else.
It's not going to be the feature.
No, it cannot be. And your feature should be, it's an Arthur Smith offense. Your feature should be the run game. It should be getting this thing going, whether it's Jalen Warren or Kenneth Gainwell or Caleb Johnson or a mixture of all three. But my gosh, feature Jalen Warren.
Feature Jalen Warren, get your tight ends involved is another point.
Yeah.
And I know there was the really weird, awkward pass to Jonnu Smith, and everybody's going to get down. That ball was, I talked to Jonnu downstairs just now. He did what he could. He thought he held on to it. He disagreed with the call.
Yeah.
And he should have disagreed with the call because the ball didn't move. And the call on the field, regardless of what any of us thinks individually, the call on the field, so you have to have something definitive to overturn the call on the field, and you didn't. But anyway,
That's this league, though. They do everything they can to help offense except for properly defining a catch. Everything.
no one knows what a catch is.
No.
But you got to run the ball.
Yeah.
We could just say this like 20 more times.
Yeah.
But that's all this comes down to. You have to form. This was something that came up a lot. I'm going to be writing about this, by the way, in the for our app. Chris is going to be writing about the Rodgers game and about
that one holding call that just kind of
really switched the game around to 2nd and 1.
Yeah, because if you get points there, if you get a touchdown there,
You're in the game.
This game is different. This game, I mean, it does not. Maybe they still lose. Maybe they still lose because Chargers are a good football team. But the game has a completely different feel
different
to it.
feel. It really does.
Because Boswell then missed the field goal, and that almost never happens because that's really his first true miss this season.
Yeah, I wouldn't be putting Boz on my blame list.
No, not at all.
But what they have to do is they have to figure out, Chris. I've been pounding this one since the summertime. What their offensive identity is.
Yeah.
They knew back in Latrobe what their defensive identity should be. Yeah. It should be what we saw last week against Indianapolis, and that means taking the football. They didn't get the football tonight. They still carried themselves fairly well. They certainly performed well enough to win against a 6-3 opponent on the wrong side of the country in their barn. The offense, I don't know, man. We need to start buying space up on top of Mount Washington in all neon letters that says run the ball, because they're not going to be anything until they do. And we can talk about into oblivion about Jalen Warren. They got Caleb Johnson involved. They didn't use Kenny Gainwell at all. And if you go back to
for Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, if you go back to, you can say what you want about Gainwell, your initial impression, but you also got to remember what he did in Dublin.
Yeah.
Okay, he was a real factor for this team. Go at them. Run the football.
Yeah.
And also, it makes it easier on your offensive line. They're better at that.
Yeah. The problem that I have, because I understand that every time it's first down, you can't just run every single time because then
we've seen that.
Then you become predictable.
Yeah.
You should be running more often than not. But when you do throw, you've got to have whatever 6 to 8 plays that are like 90% proof in terms of completing the ball or completing a pass.
Like quick slants against the Steelers.
Quick slants, like almost like I'm just because the Steelers have enough plays where they can do that. I don't care if it's only 3 or 4 yards. You're moving forward. You're staying on schedule.
There's a rhythm to it.
Yes.
The clock is going.
It doesn't
and the
have
other guys
to be,
are on the sideline, and everybody benefits. I don't know. I don't know. We're flying home tomorrow. We will not be able to do a double shot show.
We'll be in
for
the air.
obvious reasons. Yeah. But we'll be back with another one of those on Tuesday. Don't download the app. You don't want to read what we have to write, okay? Don't download the app. Don't email me to ask for a premium level discount on it, because you don't want to read what we have to say anyway, right?
No, not at all. Not after this one.
No. So just don't. We'll see you guys when we get back home.